So I'm here to talk about the wild card round. The games, the wild card here, two. So I'm doing the other three games. So we have the Eagles, the San Francisco Bears beat the Philadelphia Eagles 23-19. In the first, it was pretty close throughout, but ended up being just in the fourth quarter. The 49ers had that 13 points in the fourth just to clinch it, but it was close. It was a really tight game back and forth, a really solid game from both teams, but just late, just Eagles did not have that firepower late. They needed that to win, and they just couldn't get it. But what happened was Brock Purdy, though, no, he had the 2 interceptions. That's really what hurt them. You hurt San Francisco. You thought Philadelphia would win the game because of that. But no, they actually fought really tough and close, and you cannot blame them for fighting back. That's like good resilience from the San Francisco 49ers to fight back. So Brock Purdy, 18 of 31, 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions, yards 28 of 35, 106 yards, a touchdown. So with the 2 interceptions, they could have really made this a big game, more of a lead, but they just didn't. Christian McCaffrey, 15 runs, 40 yards. Saquon Barkley, 26 runs, 106 yards. Robinson, 6 catches, 100 yards, a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 8 catches, 70 yards. And then he had Brock Purdy had 9 runs for 2 yards. Moore had a run for 3 yards. Christian McCaffrey had 6 catches, 66 yards. Kyle Juszczyk had 4 catches, 4 yards. John Jennings a catch for 45 yards. Tongs a catch for 14 yards. And then you had George Kittle catch for 6 yards. And then the Eagles, Jalen Hurts has big 4 runs for 8 yards. Jalen Hurts had 9 runs for 5 runs for 4 yards. Scar run for a yard. And then Scar 4 catches, 3 yards. And then A.J. Brown had 2 catches for 12 yards. Saquon Barkley had 3 catches for 2 yards. And then Cooper had 3 yards. Shipley had 3 yards. In the first quarter, I'm pretty sure. First position. I'm pretty sure passion that we runs on thirds. Previous ones were Scarver Shaker. It's a trick. Extra point minutes. And Jared's. Short pass short. Let's go for it. Check that extra ones. Open your 36 year field up to 20. And the second one is 10-13. Then 16-10 Philadelphia with 49 field majorly 2 in the third. And John Jones to run for 2 yards. Draw for the passer. Really? Which was accepted. And the open your extra was good. So they accepted on the try. And then check the 33 yard field goal attempt. It's good. I'm pretty sure passing to Christian McCaffrey for it. I think they're trying for it too. So that a touch, so they have to rely on the extra point. Let me see here. No, keep in just missed the extra point. Okay, I couldn't remember. The message were made for they weren't the better anyway, so they touch on it. And they just did. So that was it. Solid win for San Francisco 49ers. Solid win. And then the New England Patriots, they defeated the Los Angeles Chargers. This game was a really low scoring. Both teams had a really low scoring game. Neither team could get much offense going, but the defenses, they were just really defensive heavy. But in this game, neither team could really get offense going. But late, when it mattered, when it really counted, the New England Patriots pulled out offense late enough to put up 2 possessions, and they won 16-3. That was a really solid game too. All these playoff games so far have been good. Justin Herbert, 19 30, 150 yards. He had rushing. He had 10 runs and 50 yards. Then McConkey 3 catches, 3 returns. Then Drake May had 17, 28 yards, 8 yards. Interception. He did bounce back up the interception too. Then Drake May had 10 catches, 60 return 6 years. Just 3 seconds. So I gotta say before Drake May did bounce back from his interception either. Which is not bad, which is good, But the Patriots scoring only 13 points or 16 points it shows that you have a good defense too. In the playoffs, you're not gonna have high offense, not necessarily high offense, so. In defensive games like this, winning them is a good sign. And Drake May 10 run, like I said, then for T Vidal 11 runs 3 minutes. And Gaps in the third, 3 for 30. Keenan 2 for 25. Harris 2 for 20. Vidal 2 for 20. Johnson 2 for 20. And 3 for 12 for Fist. And then 5-6 for Drake May. 6 for Justin Herbert. And then Andre Stevenson 10 for D3. Henderson 9 for 27. Each is in the third with a receiver. Trip play. Guiding lead pass. And then Kinkwood 4 for 66. Henry 3 for 64. Each is in the third, 1 for 20. 7 2 for 16. Henderson 1 for 9. Also 1 for 8. 1 for 7. 1 for 3. And then Borregales with a 23-yard field goal to start the 13-32 in the second quarter. Then Cameron Decker 20-yard field goal. Borregales 35-yard field goal. And a 30-yard field goal in the third. And then finally, the only touchdown of the game. Drake May and Hunter Henry for 20 yards. And the Borregales extra point is good. And then the blowout win in what could be Aaron Rodgers' last ever game as an NFL player. The Pittsburgh Steelers did well. And, the Houston Texans, both teams. The Pittsburgh Steelers forced some turnovers and then early on. And then the Houston Texans defense came alive in that fourth quarter. Really alive, and so the offense. They had a pick 6 on Aaron Rodgers, and then they had a strip sack fumble recovery on Aaron Rodgers. And there was 2 defensive touchdowns, and that made it 30-6, so blowout. So that made it a little bit of a blowout, but otherwise it was really close in the fourth. This was the only game that was kind of the most lopsided, not as exciting game, but what do you do, A really solid game for DeMeco Ryans and this Houston Texans coach, C.J. Stroud. Really solid team. Aaron Rodgers, it was really solid. Played good. He didn't play great the fourth quarter. When the fourth quarter came, he kind of went away a little bit, but in the first 2 quarters played well. But this could be his last ever game. If he's 50-50, but he might he might wait a little bit and then end up just retiring. You don't know, if he's going to pull the plug or not. If he is. He hinted about it, but you don't know if he's going to retire. You don't know. So, if so. It was a good season for Rodgers, I will say that. But just this playoff game was not the best for Rodgers. C.J. Stroud 20-32, 12 yards, a touchdown interception. And Rodgers 17-32, halfway through interception. Mertz 18 runs, 112 yards, touchdown. Jalen Warren 12 runs, 40 yards. He came back after 2 catches for 2 yards for Steelers. Christian Kirk 8 catches, 144 yards, a touchdown. And C.J. Stroud had 3-6. Nick Chubb 10 runs, 4 yards. Stover for 1 for 4. C.J. Stroud 1 for 0. And then Jay Higgins 2 for 3. Nichols 2 for 2. Hutchinson 2 for 2. Stover 2 for 13. And Schultz 2 for 12. And then for the Steelers, Mason Ruff came in late on the final drive. Rodgers, they just took him out because we're not going to win this, though, for sure. Mason Ruff 1 for 2 yards. And then Aaron Rodgers 4-6 6 runs 20 yards. Mark Gonzalez 3 catches 26 yards. Nikhil 4 catches 26 yards. Anthony 2 catches 3 yards. Pifford catch 8 yards. Austin 3 for 8 yards. Jalen Warren 1 for 4. And then Adam Thielen, this is his last ever season as the NFL. He wanted to come back. He played for the Carolina Panthers for a few years after leaving the Minnesota Vikings, his hometown team. Because he went to Minnesota State Mankato and the Division II team. An undrafted player, played for the Vikings for a long career. And he went to Panthers for a couple of seasons. Came back to Minnesota. They'll sign him And then he wanted a chance to be competitive to play for the playoffs. He thought maybe with the Vikings he could have a chance to at least play in the playoffs. And then he wanted to go to a playoff contending team. The Steelers took him. And he was like, he didn't really care about the money value, just want to play some playing time. And he got that and went to the playoffs, but not really. Yeah. So, and then, yeah. And then in the first quarter, Chris Boswell 3-yard field goal. I said Chris Boswell 3-yard field goal. And CJ Stroud 6-yard pass to Christian short pass right. And Kai Fairbairn next plays. Chris Boswell 35-yard field goal 157 second quarter. And then fourth quarter, Kai Fairbairn 51-yard field goal attempt is good. And then Aaron Rodgers sacked at the 33-yard line. And he was at the Pittsburgh 43-yard line. And then for a sack for 10 yards and then fumbled by Rankins at 33, and then Kai Fairbairn extra was good. And then Marks, and then they were still up 11, but then they had to punt the ball. And it was a dangerous catch in the punt. They could have just let go. And then Marks, and they ran the clock out. Marks for 30 yards. And then Kai Fairbairn extra was good. And Rodgers passed deep right, and then intercepted the Houston 50-yard line. And then Bullock. And then Rodgers tried to tackle him and get in the way and try to tackle. So it was a pick six, but it was a pick six. And then it was 36 with the touchdown. And the extra point is no good. The extra point was no good. And 30-6, the Texans blow out the Steelers.